Hello and welcome back to the channel. Fallout 4 was my first real introduction to the Fallout series back when I was still in middle school, and for a long time it defined what Fallout was to me, and I enjoyed it at the time. I spent hundreds of hours roaming through the wasteland of the Commonwealth, and it shaped my expectations of what the Fallout series should be. However, it's not a game I want to replay as much as I seem to love it. And a few years pass after that, and another kid in my Boy Scout troop shows me Fallout New Vegas, and I immediately wrote it off. So it looked bad graphically, looked dated, all the usual excuses when it comes to not wanting to play New Vegas, right? I had gotten the game at some point on Xbox Live Gold for free, and I thought, well, I might as well at least try it. I got it for free with my subscription. Let's give it a try, right? And the first time I played New Vegas, my foundation, that low for Fallout 4, immediately cracked, almost immediately. New Vegas didn't feel like another open world RPG built around exploration loops and quest markers, but it felt better, more intentional. Again, this constantly asking me to think about why I was doing something, not just what I was doing. The writing, the factions, the way the world reacted to my decisions stood in sharp contrast to Fallout 4 structure. Progress wasn't measured by how much the map I cleared, but how deeply I entangled myself in the politics and consequences of my actions in the Mojave Wasteland. And revisiting New Vegas now in 2026 made that difference even more clearer. With years of RPGs behind me, and as the Fallout TV show wraps up its second season, I didn't just want to replay New Vegas. I wanted to step back and reflect on why it's still a Fallout game I think about the most, and why it continues to stand apart from the series as it evolves in a different way, at least for me. And if you like the video, please leave a like, it means the world to me. Subscribe if you like it. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy my short retrospective on Fallout New Vegas. When I first played Fallout New Vegas, it felt familiar, almost misleadingly so. At the time, I didn't fully grasp how deeply it was rooted in the classic Fallout games 1 and 2, until years later, especially after Fallout 76 reshaped the conversation on the franchise, that I began to understand what Fallout New Vegas was really doing, and how much better it was compared to Bethesda's games. At least for me, right? That is subjective in my opinion, and if you're fully capable to disagree with me, I don't care, but learning how much the original Interplay DNA carried over through Obsidian was just absolutely crazy, and might I add, how insanely impressive it is that Obsidian made this entire game in only 18 months. And in hindsight, New Vegas wasn't just another Fallout entry, it was a philosophical continuation of the series. Its original priorities, player agency, moral ambiguity, systemic consequences you have to face, and its overall just dark humor. And I think what really sets it apart, right, is its hardcore mode, which I haven't played much of, but I just finished my current playthrough, and now I'm going to do a second one playing hardcore mode. And about like 5 or so hours into hardcore mode, my goodness, hardcore mode fundamentally changed how I experienced Fallout New Vegas. Mechanics like hunger, thirst, ammo weight, and all these harsher consequences stripped away by that power fantasy the base game gives you and replaced it with lots of tension. It almost feels like I'm playing Stalker in a lot of ways. And Mojave stopped being a sandbox, rather it started feeling very hostile and very dangerous and it's not really something I really needed to feel. Like, I always avoided hardcore mode, but this time, I absolutely enjoy it. And every decision slowed down, every encounter mattered. Loot wasn't just filler, it was survival at the core of it. Hardcore, heh, funny. And it forced it to engage in New Vegas on its own terms. And in doing so, it revealed just how carefully the world was designed to support that play style, right? And I truly think Goodsprings is one of my favorite RPG openings ever. Not only is it like super quick and easy compared to Fallout 3 or Fallout 4, but it teaches you so much so quickly and so fast to get you out in the game. It's just impressive, and it allows for immediately allowing the role playing and consequences to make themselves known, right? So you have the powder gangers coming into town. You could betray the town. You could sell off Rango. Like, it's a good small little area to really flex the game's strengths right at the start, and it's so cool. And New Vegas is just so RPG first. The faction and reputation systems ensure that choices linger, and the game never lets you forget who you've helped or who you've crossed. Unlike many open world RPGs I've played that borrow heavily from the GTA style, New Vegas prioritizes consequences over spectacle and depth over scale. I'll have to admit, the game is pretty small compared to other RPGs I've played, but it's so densely packed with so much character, environmental storytelling, quests, characters, all of which I fell in love with over time. I can count on 5 hands how many times I've replayed New Vegas. and really count on one hand how many times I've replayed the other Fallout games. And at least for me, the main reason New Vegas has stayed so relevant for me in 2026 is its modding. For this playthrough I've been using a collection from Nexus that has over 800 mods. I don't remember the name of the collection on the top of my head, but I'll put it right here on screen, and I'll link it down below in case anyone wants to try it. But at this point, New Vegas feels less like a fixed product and more like a platform where you can transform the game into a hardcore survival sim, a tactical shooter, a deeply immersive role-playing experience, or a narrative-first RPG that expands systems and restores cut content. Combat overhauls, faction expansions, visual upgrades, stability fixes, entirely new quests like the Long 15. No two modded playthroughs ever feel the same, and what really elevates it is its community. Like, the New Vegas modding scene is just one of the most welcoming and knowledgeable communities I've ever encountered. People are patient, generous with their time. If you have a question, you just go to a forum the mod is like hosted on, and you'll get a response almost immediately. That person's very helpful and will guide you through the steps. And it's just overall just a great experience. Probably the best experience possible you could ever get when it comes to modding a game, right? And that shared experience has kept New Vegas alive in many ways few single-player games I've ever managed. And in many ways, New Vegas has evolved alongside me. It shaped how I play RPGs. It shaped how I view communities. And Obsidian's original vision for the game has evolved so much over time. But we can't talk about New Vegas without talking about its DLCs. So let's talk about that next. I think this is where New Vegas fully cements its legacy for me. And I'm gonna list these DLCs in no particular order, because frankly, they're all fantastic. Honest Hearts was the first DLC I ever played. And I thought Joshua Graham was such a cool character back when I was growing up, man. I didn't fully understand his writing, his dialogue. It was a bit too complex for me at the time, but now, replaying the game, replaying his DLC again, right? His writing alone makes him so unforgettable. His dialogue, his moral complexity remains one of the strongest in the entire franchise, I think. He's one of the most interesting characters I think I've ever seen in any RPG, single player and multiplayer. His reasonings for doing what he does is just so interesting, and how he handles himself and his past is just overall just something you don't really see much of in other games. And Dead Money, which used to be my least favorite DLC, is my personal favorite. It strips away the player's power and comfort. It forces difficult decisions on you. It explores themes of obsession, loss, letting go, ideas that really resonate me right now at this time. And it's just, I will admit, it's a very frustrating DLC. Especially with the collar and like all the stuff. I'm not going to go into all the details of it, but when I first played it, I was so annoyed by how the color worked. And back when I played it for the first time, I didn't even think to load back to not do it. So I forced myself to play through the entire DLC while hating every second of it. And probably not the best way to play it, but that's what I did. But playing through it several times over again, I grow to love it more and more each time. Probably because I know how to actually play the DLC and not die and get screwed over as much, but I digress. And Old World Blues is probably like a total outlier, but for a good reason. It's like one of the funniest DLCs I think Fallout has ever had. I love the characters, the structure, the absurdity of the loot in the game is it's just so much fun. There's so many secrets to find in the big MT, and it's just overall one of my, oh no man, I already said New was my favorite, but this one is also my absolute favorite, right? And it's endlessly replayable. I love it so much. And Lonesome Road, oh man, where do I even start, man? It's a DLC that ties directly into the courier's past and delivers some of the most impactful choices the game has ever seen. I don't want to spoil too much, but there's one big thing you can do in this DLC that affects the base game. And I don't want to spoil in case anyone here has not played Lonesome Road yet, but just keep in mind that I recommend you play this DLC last, as it's like one of those DLCs that it's kind of like a good ending to the story, the side stories I should say, before you actually finish the main game. Just overall, it's just a fantastic DLC and I highly recommend it. And Ulysses is such a great character, love him so much. But in conclusion, in 2026, Fallout New Vegas still feels unmatched more than ever. It's a great RPG, it's a great game that's grown up with me throughout the years, mods, and I reflect on this game, and it really has helped me through a lot of hard times. Through COVID, I played a lot of Fallout, and when I had no friends in middle school, I played a lot of Fallout. These games mean something to me, and I'm sure it means a lot to a lot of people too, right? And as Fallout continues to expand through games and television, New Vegas remains, for me, it's the clearest example of what a Fallout should be. It should be player first, writing first, and world building first. Not microtransactions first, like 76, and stuff like that. There's so many things people talk about when it comes to modern Fallout that I'm not gonna mention here, but if you know, you know. And I already know we're gonna be getting a Fallout 3 and New Vegas remaster at some point. Probably next year or who knows when, right? But if they remake New Vegas, I hope they do it justice and keep that soul alive. With that being said, if you enjoyed my thoughts on New Vegas, this retrospective is kind of something I've been really wanting to do for a long time, and I hope I did it justice. I'm not the best script writer. I stutter a lot. You probably heard that, but I'm just so excited to talk about Fallout New Vegas and just Fallout in general. And this one does well. I'll do Fallout 3, Fallout 4, maybe 76 again. And with that being said, see you guys next time. Peace out.